Speaking about loving what you do, I had a conversation this week that I thought was really, really cool, and I think you would enjoy. So I met with this gentleman a couple of years ago, and I just kind of gave him a path. It wasn't really anything I could do for him at that time, but I kind of gave him a framework of the things that he needed to do. He comes back 2 years later. Hey, I did all those things. I'm ready to work with you. Okay.
All right,
Awesome.
wait, time out. More context. This gentleman was not a client. So lay this out. Not a client,
Not a client, reached out
needed
on
some
LinkedIn.
consulting.
Yeah, reached out on LinkedIn, met with him, did the financial plan for him, gave it to him. We don't charge anybody for the financial plan. It's not my thing. No beef to anybody who does. And just said like, hey, do X, Y, Z. You're an A, let's turn it into an A plus. When you're ready, come back, let me know. So a couple years ago, I kept him on my email list. He basically read all the emails I sent over a couple year period, comes back, checks in, ready to be a client. And we get talking. And one of the things that come up is that goals were really hard for him to quantify. So he's 40. And we're a little bit older, but in that same realm, right? And he knew that he wanted to pay for his daughter's education. Fine. I can relate with that. I want to pay for my kids' college if they so choose to go to college, or college even exists in 20 years. But I don't want that burden to be on my kids. So I connected with him on that.
We'll figure it out, Nolan.
We'll figure that out. If they want to skip school, start a job, I'm cool with that too. Start a business, go to whatever, get in a trade.
Work at Know My Plan.
Yeah, it's going to be a long buy-in for that. Jeff has a son who I'd probably hire today. I don't know that Jeff would hire him, but Nick would hire him. But anyway, he was talking about how much he loved his job. And he said, hey, Nick, I can't think about retirement. I can't wrap my head around it because I love what I'm doing too much. I can't imagine never being able to, never putting that away. I want to do that forever. And so this was one of the first things that I felt like we kind of like workshopped this together about, well, we know we need to save. We know we have a goal of taking care of your daughter, but like, what is the money for? And, I was just thinking back collaboratively with him about how the last 10 years of my life could not have been plotted out to where I am today, about moving several times, 3 international adoptions. None of those things I could have ever predicted. Those were divine intervention. God put that on our heart. God put that into our lives. But one of the things that came out of this is really what we're saving and investing for is future financial flexibility, because I don't know what the next 10, 20 years are going to look like. And I just love this concept that we kind of collaboratively came up with together of, the future is relatively unknown, but I want to have the flexibility for whatever curveballs the world throws at me. And I just thought that was really refreshing, because I think sometimes people don't reach out to a financial planner because they don't have it like all figured out in their head. They don't know exactly what their goals are. And I think that's okay, because I've talked some about like client John, who popped up out of the recliner one day and said, hey, I need $10,000 a month in retirement. I need to be in the mountain house. I want to watch the NHL package. I want to eat really good Indian food.
One of my favorite stories of all time. You and his wife are having a nice, productive conversation, and he snaps out of the Burka Lounger.
Yeah, like, John never says anything. But, but then it happened. And what he said was really profound. He knew what he wanted. But I think that happens when you continually act upon a plan for years. Some people might have that vision today at 40, but some people may not have that vision until 57. And the vision that you have at 40 is probably going to change to where it is at 55 or 57. But I just love that concept that, hey, I don't have it all figured out, but I know that I need to start planning for something. So I need future financial flexibility. So what does that look like? How do I avoid the traps of the alternative minimum tax, or how do I avoid paying too much in taxes, or the risk of too much concentration in a single security? I just felt the conversation was really, really refreshing. And I just love the idea that we have to start planning, but we don't necessarily have to have it all figured out. And that might I think that probably keeps some people from reaching out to a financial planner, because they don't have it all figured out. And that's okay. You don't have to wait until you have it all figured out. And I think some of the benefits that come from working with a financial planner is just having that sounding board to collaborate with, who doesn't necessarily have a direct vested interest in the outcome.
Well, it sure beats having worked together now for quite a while, I see the content, obviously. It sure beats the stressed out individual who's 51 and they still have time, right? That's okay. But like the idea that they've been beating themselves up of like, I'm going to screw this up. What am I doing? Like, I've got 10 years to figure this out. It's so much more relaxing to think of, I'm just going to have this conversation at 40. And by the time I'm 65, this thing's going to be well mapped out.
All of the measures that you have to take at 40 versus 50 are going to be less draconian, right? The longer you wait to get in shape, the harder the workout is. Same thing with financial planning. The earlier you can start, the better. The best day that you can start a financial plan was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. You don't have to have it all figured out. We want to be financially healthy. Start today.
This has been my favorite episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high praise.
I've received more goosebumps / chills based on our conversation today than I can recall over the last 13 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.